Hey guys, it's your B-boy or Brandon Flex comment that, and today, in case you haven't noticed, I'm actually doing face cam for the first time in a while for you guys. Because why? I finally got myself a phone stand or camera stand or whatever this thing is called. So today, I will be showcasing you guys my Dragon Link deck. I topped 4 with this deck against 4 different decks. I faced 2 zombie, 1 dino, and what was the other one? Salamangreats. Like I said, I topped 4 with this just a couple of weeks ago at the time of recording this video. So with that being said, let's get straight into the deck profile.
Okay, so let's get started off with the deck profile. I'll be starting off with the starters, then the monsters, and then the spell cards. Obviously, you would want to play 3 copies of Star League Cypher. It sends itself to the graveyard to add a Black Dragon or White Dragon Collapse Serpent. That's mainly what you want to use it for. 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon. You can basically use this to chain block your opponent. Normal summon Black Metal, Striker Dragon, chain link 1 Striker Dragon, chain link 2 Black Metal Dragon. You would want to always use this as chain link 2 because you would want to chain block your opponent from Ash Blossoming Striker Dragon. If you're playing Rockets, you obviously have to play Quick Launch. It's basically emergency teleporter, not once per turn on this card, so it's basically free. 3 Chaos base because this searches for Chaos Dragon Levianeer, it searches for Black Dragon, White Dragon Collapse Serpent. There's a 2-card combo with this card, and that involves tuning. Theory behind it, this can search for Rocket Synchron. I maxed out on these simply because if you see Chaos base along with tuning in your opening hand, you basically use tuning to search for Rocket Synchron. You can use Chaos Base to send Rocket Synchron to get the dragon monsters like White Dragon or Black Dragon, like I mentioned earlier. Also, we play 3 of the Unexpected Die. Unexpected Die is another good starting card because it searches for Galaxy Serpent. It's okay if you want to run 2. I decided to run 1 because if you summon this, well, if you have this in your hand, then you normal summon it. Another good starting card, 1 for 1. It searches for level 1 monsters, which we do play a lot. And then another good starting card is Reasoning. You can argue that this is not a good starting card. You play a bunch of different levels in the deck. Most people would call level 3 or level 4, and it ends up becoming a different result. That's why I play Reasoning in the deck. So that is all of the starting cards. Next up we have our monsters. Triple Rocket Tracer. If you see this in your opening hand, you automatically win. Or if you see Abzerator Dragon, then you also win. This searches for Tracer and any of the other rockets. I went with 3 different rocket monsters. So I have Silver Rocket, Magna Rocket, and Rocket Recharger. I went with 3 different ones instead of the usual 2 like everybody else because you run out of steam with this deck pretty quickly, and having a 3rd rocket monster that's level 4 is a good insurance policy. If you have multiples in your hand, then you can use Tracer's effect to summon that final copy. So that's why I run 3 different rockets instead of the usual 2 that other people decided to do. 1 Red MD, Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon, and you cannot play this without Red Eyes Black Dragon, or as I like to call him, Ni. And without Ni, you can't summon him. The idea about Malefic monsters is that they can't stay on the field unless they have a field spell. This deck searches for field spells like all over the place. You have Romulus to search for your Dragon Ravine, or you have Striker Dragon that searches Boot Sector Launch. Like, this deck, it searches for field spells. And on top of that, a dragon that is searchable. Who wouldn't want to play this card? If you have like a bunch of like monsters on the field already, then you can And if it's the next turn, you can either summon this or use it for discard fodder or whatever you want. This is just an insurance policy in case if you don't have enough monsters on the field. This helps you extend even further with either contact fusion, synchro summoning, even link material. 3 Noctivision. I decided to max out on this because seeing multiples of these in my starting hand is good as long as I have a monster that is summonable. This also helps chain block Black Metal Dragon, Striker Dragon Chainlink 1, Black Metal Dragon Chainlink 2, and then this Chainlink 3. It helps you draw an extra card, which is amazing for the deck. 2 Levianeer. It's a good, and having a second one is, again, another good insurance policy for the deck. Use the effect of this one already, and you have a second one to finish the game. 1 Brotar, mainly you would want to use this to search it off of the Hieratic Seal, but if you're like in a sticky situation, pause, then you can use this for LP plays and search for Levianeer or any other monsters that you want for the deck. The other dragon package, the white dragon and the black dragon, these are searchable now without them leaving the field, so it's fine. Oh, you always play one of each because they're limited to one. Crusadia Draco, this is searchable with Tempest. You never want to see Tempest in your starting hand, because if you see Tempest in your starting hand, it essentially blocks you from searching Crusadia Draco. If you have Crusadia Draco as like your starting hand, it's okay, I guess. It just prevents you from going into VFD, also known as True King of All Calamities. So yeah, play one of Tempest and one of Draco. This card, it can be a brick sometimes, but I learned a combo that you can do with this deck with this card. So even though that this can be a brick in your hand, use this for fusion material, for contact fusion. So let's say if you summon another Striker Dragon to where Romulus points to, you would use this to summon it, and it can't be used as link material. Even though that it can't be used as link material, you can contact fuse it to summon the Trishula fusion monster. The only hand traps that I play in the deck is triple effect Veiler. I don't have Nibiru. If I had Nibiru, then I would highly recommend adding Nibiru in this deck, or Artifact Lancia, not once per turn, and it stops my opponent from activating their effects or whatever. And this also stops VFD if I'm facing Virtual World. I would cut this for Nibiru for sure. The point of this deck is that you're supposed to extend instead of relying on a bunch of hand traps. I'm trying to go for the non-hand trap variant. Having a bunch of hand traps in your hand, I feel like slows the deck down a bit. That is all of the monsters that I play in the deck. Triple World Legacy Guard Dragon. It's a really good extender. So if you have Tracer in your graveyard, you can use this to summon it. Or Black Metal Dragon if you want to further extend your combos. And this also moves LP around. Then I play 2 Cosmic because I really hate back row. I don't want to see them destroyed. I want them out of the game completely. 1 Boot Sector launch. It's searchable. It summons rockets from your hand, and it's also a soul charge. Not many people know that. Ravine is also searchable through Romulus. You pitch any card to send Dragon, mainly Abzerauder Dragon, to add Rocket Tracer from your deck. Dragoonity Divine Lance. Equip it to a Dragoonity monster, which is Romulus. Equip the Phalanx from your deck to Romulus. Phalanx to summon itself from the equipment zone. 2 Monster Reborns. This is a Monster Reborn for Link Arrows, and this is just a good extender plays. Nasaki, one of Call by the Grave, because I don't want my opponent to stop me. If this was at 3, then I would have added second or third copy for this deck, so it does not matter. 2 Striker Dragon. I know most people play 3, but you don't necessarily need 3. There's too much room. Way too much room. LP? Pissy, Romulus, Nidofiber, Protector Whelp. It's a good generic Link to Dragon monster for the deck. It's also a light monster. Dillinger's Dragon, I don't really summon this one that much. I'm still testing the deck without Linkross and Union Carrier. It's in the graveyard. You summon a Rocket. You special summon it. I play the one Hieratic. I love bouncing my opponent's monsters. Pause on that. One Bull Sword for OTKs. And our last Link monster is Skuldred. You could switch these two guys if you want. I personally like these two. You could side these two for either Unchained Abomination, Apollousa, also known as my mom. Any Link 4 would do. One Savage for Negate, Ravenous, Caracosaurus Rex. The one fusion monster we play is the Trishula. And for our final monster from the extra deck is VFD. And that concludes my top 4 Dragon Link deck profile. It was my first top 4, and it was with this deck, and it was without Linkross. Don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe. Share with your friends, please. Share with as much people as possible, and also leave the bell on. Leave the notification bell on. Otherwise, you will not see my content anyways. So that's it for the video. B-Boy out.